Welcome back to another hot fixing the NFL video here. The premise, of course, being that we are trying to apply a day one patch or a hot fix to the teams in the NFL to kind of make them ready for a successful season, ironing out the most glaring problems and fixing the most glaring holes, not doing a long-term rebuild. That is not the focus of this video. We're using a custom roster file. I do have a video up as well on how to do that. We're now going to be taking a look at the team and at the roster and figure out which positions really need some help straight away. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at the Raiders right now. The offensive line immediately looks quite solid, I would say. Miller looks very solid. I know Parm is a very strong player. That's good. We've got James here on the center position. That's good as well. Cody White here, 75, decent enough for one more season probably. We're going to be looking at Munford because I always like to take age into account as well. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Bryant. This is a fantastic tight end group, so there's really not much to say about this here. But at first glance, I would say the offense is not really going to be a problem, even if Gardner Minshew probably isn't going to be the most solid quarterback to work with here. But apart from that, the weapons are good, the players are good, the additions have been good, the drafting has been solid. So let's move over to defense. Take a quick look at this one here, and we immediately see that there are certain positions that we immediately need to fix. It's certainly not these three here, Crosby, Wilkins, and Tyree Wilson, a fantastic group of three here. It's not going to be the corners too much. I really think that Nate Hobbs and Jones over here with a 74 rating and a start of trades do look good enough. We've got Marcus Epps here as a starting strong safety. We've got Trevor Murray as a free safety. That's all good. I kind of like Spillane here with a 79. Divine Diablo 74, that's okay-ish, but these here are just super scary. These are positions that we need to backfill immediately, where we really have to do something because these are not gonna work very well. All right, so that was the first glance, of course. Devil's always in the details. We also have to take into account the age, of course, player regression, and all that can happen. So let's just check out the other factors in hot fixing the Las Vegas Raiders. So Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Anthony Brown. Let's leave it as is. We're now trying to completely change the face of this team within one stroke. Alexander Madison joining from the Vikings. That's a really good addition. Zamir White, Dylan Lively. I like this. There's a fullback, Jacob Johnson. I also like that. I like having a dedicated fullback there. The wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. Fantastic stuff. I wouldn't change a thing about these two here. We also have Trey Tucker and Jalen Guyton and Christian Wilkerson down here. I don't care about these, but I really feel like, completely glossed over Michael Gallup here. But the top four wide receivers, and especially wide receiver 1 and 2, are really, really very good. The tight end group is absolutely fantastic. I love it to bits. Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, great stuff. Wouldn't change a thing here. On left tackle, Colton Miller, 2786. That's good. The backup is horrible, but I don't care. Dylan Parham, 2473. I think that's good enough to work with. Andre James at the center position, 26 and 79. We also have a rookie sitting here, Jackson Paris Johnson out of Oregon. Right guard Cody White here, 3175, could be a little bit better, but again, for this upcoming year, we're focusing on that, should be good enough. Right tackle Terry Munford, he's 2371. I kind of really like the age situation, but that could be one where we could slightly improve the team just a little bit to give a little bit more stability to that position. Is probably the way I would be looking at it. Left edge wouldn't change a thing here. Right edge wouldn't change a thing. D tackle wouldn't change a thing. I also like the backup players here. Pretty good. I can see that working. Left outside linebacker, Luke Masterson, and that's all she wrote. There's one player in here, and that's all there is. That's horrible. Middle linebacker, Divine Diablo, Tommy Eichenberg, Amari Burney. We need one more player here for sure. Right outside linebacker, Robert Spillane, and then we've got Curtis Bolton and Kanai Mauga is 23.63. I absolutely despise this this situation here quite a bit. Cornerbacks, yeah, looking at these again, Nate Hobbs and Jack Jones, serviceable, I would say. Apart from that, I like some back here. Jacorian Bennett is nice. The Cameron Richardson, I like this one. The other ones, I don't really get those, to be brutally honest. So I personally would be immediately cutting a player like this if I were to take over the team, even if that brings a penalty. But we do get a little bit more breathing room on these positions. I like this one here. This works well for me, and the strong safety looking good as well. Christopher Smith and Trey Taylor, that is okay enough. Kicker Daniel Carson, and the punter, actually the best parts of the roster, I would say. Alright, so let's go over this quickly again. Quarterback works, halfback, fullback, wide receivers, tight ends. Nothing needs to be changed here. On left tackle, that works. Left guard, we're going to leave it as is. We're going to leave center as is. But I think right guard in combination with the right tackle is certainly something where I feel like we need to do something. I will now be doing the following to kind of mitigate one of these positions a little bit more. We're going to be moving. No, I don't want to do that. We're going to be moving Cody White here over to right tackle. There we go. And we will be moving Delnar Glaze over to the right guard position. By doing that, we have immediately kind of solidified the right tackle. Pretty happy with that. Now we only need to look at the right guard position. That certainly needs some help. Apart from that, we're looking at defense, left outside linebacker. This is a glaring problem. Mid linebacker, I'd also like to bring one more player here. And we've got the right outside linebacker position. There's dudes in here. I don't really know why though. I'm going to be cutting Curtis Bolton here. This is a dude that is probably not going to be used at all, but he's taken up a roster spot. Spillane, good enough for this season. We're going to work with that. Cornerbacks, free safeties, and strong safeties. All right, so let's start. Let's immediately start working on hot fixing this team. All right, done deal. We're sending Meredith, right guard, 60 overall, bunch of picks over to the Bills. We're receiving Osiris Torrance, right guard, 69 overall, and a scheme fit. You're gonna say, well, what is that gonna make? Gonna show you in a moment. All right, sending a draft pick to the Giants. We're receiving Ciso Jalari. We will be using him at left outside linebacker. All right, there we go. Take a look at the hot-fixed Las Vegas Raiders. What are the changes? We now see an offensive line that is looking a little bit more stable than it was before. We just brought in some veterancy in the shape of, at the time of recording, still free agent Taylor Lewin here. Moving him in at left guard. He could probably also play tackle, right tackle, and we could use Cody White here again here. But the basic premise here was to just solidify those outsides, because on the inside I really think that we have very solid players already. But Dylan Parham, 73, looking good. We did bring in Osiris Torrance. Why? Well, he's young and he's very strong. So I really think that this is a player that is also thinking a little bit to the future, not really only the next season, but I'd rather have him on the team 9 points better than a 25-year-old 60 rated dude. So what ifs. Anyways, I think the offensive line looks good as it is now. The right hand side, we probably could switch around here a little bit using Taylor Lewin over here, but that would be kind of, window dressing. For the most part, this is a very solid looking offense. As far as Gardner Minshew goes, I was really thinking very hard if I should change this one here, if I should switch him out or do something else with him, trade for another quarterback. But yeah, it is what it is, and they're going to start the season with him at QB. That would be very unrealistic if I were to change that one. On defense, we are now looking at a way more solid linebacking group. The front three always were good enough here, stellar looking with Crosby. But now we've got Spillane over on right outside linebacker, we've got Cease Ojulari over on left outside linebacker, started trade player, solid, just way better than what we had before. Now we've got Divine Diablo and Damon Wilson. It's not the glossiest mid linebacker group here, but it's a realistic addition out of free agency. And I really feel like this is now just a little bit more solid, right? We didn't change anything. They're not Super Bowl favorites right now, all of a sudden. But it's just a little bit more polished, a little bit more of a solid combination right there on defense. Apart from that, yeah, I would really like to know, what do you think of these changes? Are they realistic? Do they make sense? Would you have done something differently? What would you have done? Do you still see an area of the team that you think needs fixing for the upcoming season? Apart from that, yeah, drop it down in the comments below, whatever you think. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like, please subscribe, helps me a lot. And yeah, just yeah, brings me joy. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining me. Stay awesome, everybody. See you next time.